We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
There have been so many accomplishments under this administration, it can be difficult to list them in a distilled way. Recently, the president hosted a send-off for Ron Klain, the departing chief of staff, and he put it in a way that I thought was especially moving when you think back in historic terms to what it means to inherit one of the toughest situations faced by any president since FDR, pass the most significant legislation on our economy in many ways since FDR, while facing the largest land war in Europe since Truman, achieving the second most important health care bill since LBJ and the most important infrastructure bill since Eisenhower, as Ron put it. And that was just the beginning of the list of accomplishments. But one of the things that we found is that this is happening simultaneously with some of the toughest circumstances ever. We recognize that, and there continue to be a lot of issues that Americans are facing every day, even as we see extraordinary economic news. 500,000 jobs just created in the last month.
Well, that's the thing. None of it seems to accrue to his benefit.
Well, people say that, but then, this president has exceeded expectations again and again politically and functionally.
But, America just like, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? It's like nobody thinks that Biden has accomplished as much as Biden has accomplished. It's just a fact. We had the Inflation Reduction Act. We had the Chips and Science Act. We had the Infrastructure Bill. We had the American Rescue Plan. I mean, it's amazing. And then, you look at what they're longing for over there on the other side of the aisle. And, they want us to be dying of COVID or poisoned, pipes again, or, building absolutely nothing, or, separating women and children and calling it biblical, a la Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We need to reacquaint ourselves with the lying that she does. But I mean, honestly, it is an amazing thing. There was polling done yesterday, and, it's divided along party lines because that's America. But only 36% of America think that Biden is, done much. Really? What have you done? It's like, it's the most amazing thing. Every jobs report we get, it's like even more jobs. Here's even more jobs. Here's 100,000 clean energy jobs that were announced since the Chips and Science Act, which, by the way, was not bipartisan, was put through legislation and signed by the president. 100,000 clean energy jobs, 100,000 climate-friendly jobs. I mean, only Democratic votes for this. 100,000. And people just like, so what? We got 90 projects that are, just still, to come online. And we still have other projects that are online. I'm talking about solar, wind, battery, electric charging stations, an infrastructure package that is building electric charging stations even in Puerto Rico. I mean, like the whole entire America is getting investment, is modernizing, all because of this president's priorities and being able to shepherd things through Congress. So now we have this divided Congress, and they're not interested. They're not interested in progress. They're interested in going backwards. They're interested in dying. They're interested in Clorox. They're interested in ivermectin. They're interested in lying from the podium. That's what they're interested in. You want to drink water? Drink it from a poisoned lead pipe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like clean water. Oh, our water is crystal clean. Have a president that talks about showers and toilets that take 2 flushes to flush, or whatever the hell he was talking about for hours on end. So, tonight is the State of the Union, and Joe Biden isn't going to go through this whole list of things. He's not. He's a forward-looking guy. He's going to look at the future. He's going to call for, yes, he'll mention record job growth. Yes, he will. He'll say, he'll say that inflation is reducing, but it's not down to where they, But he's going to ask for taxes on the very, 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 very rich in this here country. So that he can help veterans, so that he can help, people who are in need of health care, so he can help people who are suffering from opioid addiction, so he can help people who have mental illness, so he can, basically disproportionately benefiting MAGA. is what he's going to announce. You know, he's going to say he wants to tax the very wealthy in order to take care of just about everybody else. So, I mean, I know that some of the guests, you know, are going to be cancer survivors. They're going to have a father of a fentanyl overdose victim, which tells me he gets what's going on in this country with the addiction problem. He gets what's going on in this country with mental illness. He's going to have a iron worker and a Holocaust survivor, which tells me he knows what's going on with George Santos. No, I mean, yes, I joke. I kid because I love, not George Santos. I love, you know, being able to say out loud in this country that we have a problem with anti-Semitism. You know, it's a free country. But he's going to have, you know, a call to cap insulin prices for everybody at $35, okay? He's going to announce plans to fight, for real, the opioid epidemic and expand access to mental health care services. Again, all helping MAGA disproportionately. And guns. I'm guessing he's going to talk about the fact that we can't get a piece of gun legislation. I guess that he's going to. I know that Tyree, you know, his Tyree Nichols' family is going to be there. I hope he still talks about, you know, police reform. Because last time, you know, I have his report card from the last State of the Union to now. And you know what? He accomplished a whole lot of what he said he was going to accomplish, with the exception of police reform. He did something on guns, you know, a few things on guns. You know, he helped states decide whether or not they were going to have red flag laws. I mean, you know, this is as far as we can get. And then on police reform, you know, we had Cory Booker working with Tim Scott from South Carolina, and nothing came of it. So, you know, those things were epic fails. The immigration thing hasn't moved at all in, 30 years? 30 years. I mean, nobody, you know, the Republicans are not willing to give up the, you know, the caravan talk. They're not willing to give it. And I got news for you. Immigrants are not taking your jobs. You're not taking your jobs. We have so many open jobs in this country that nobody wants. Nobody wants to take them. You know what I'm saying? Like unemployment is at a since 1969. How many years is that? 50? Some crazy amount of time. Well, unemployment is at like a 50-year low. And we still have 10 million or some crazy amount of unfilled jobs. So trust me, immigrants are not taking your jobs. You're not taking your jobs. So I don't know. But the immigration thing, no. The Republicans are never, ever, ever going to do immigration reform. It's not anything that they want to do. They just love to scream and yell about it. So it stays the same year after year, wave after wave. It stays the same over and over and over and over and over and over again. We'll build a wall. You didn't build jack crap. Okay? I'll tell you what they built. They built a non-scalable wall outside of Congress today. A non-scalable wall outside of Congress today. Well, that's good, because a scalable fence is nothing but raw materials for insurrectionists to use against, you know, Capitol Police officers. So, yay, non-scalable wall. I mean, it's so unbelievable. And you look at what the Republicans have done so far since they've been the majority. And I want this to, you know, be in your head firmly and clearly when you listen to Biden and you say, my God, he can't speak. I get it. But I just want you to understand what the Republicans have accomplished. 15 votes to pick a speaker, right? They debated whether or not to say the Pledge of Allegiance a second time during the day. They read the Constitution of the United States. They removed the magnetometers and passed out assault weapons pins. They voted to allow guns in committee rooms. And they kicked Ilhan Omar off of a committee while screaming that she was the anti-Semite, while Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about Jewish space lasers, and Paul Gosar's family was saying that he was a white supremacist. That's what they've accomplished. But they're going to sit there and say, oh, Joe Biden can't. Joe Biden's problem isn't he doesn't get it. He gets it. He understands us. He understands middle class. He understands bottom out. He understands middle out. He understands bottom up. He gets all of it, okay? He knows what we do every day when we go to work. He understands our day. He understands childcare. He understands child tax credits. He gets it. What he can't do is sell it. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.